Hey guys, what's up? Liru the Lance Corporal here. This is the video I promised that I'm going to start the Syndicate Campaign off with, which will just briefly talk about the Syndicate Campaign. Just some features as well as some things that you should know that are mission relevant for each time we do the campaign playthrough, as well as, some exciting things that we might have that you might want to look out for, as well as what you need to do in order to keep the mission going. So right now we are on the second playthrough of the mission. We've got quite a few vehicles that were looted, as well as the ones that survived the first one. So we started with 6 off-roads and 6 trucks. Of those surviving vehicles, we only have 3 trucks left and 3 off-roads, and I was being very generous on what I brought back. So out of that, they also got all of these Vics here, as well as a little note, the food Vics have also been offloaded, and you can use them as transport. But very simple. If you want the campaign to continue week by week, you need to focus on getting anything that looks like a water truck. So it can be, the IDAP Zamek water truck model, or it can be a truck that's filled with a bunch of blue water barrels, etc., etc. Whatever looks like it can be a water vehicle, that's what you need to grab and bring back to base. And then food vehicle, such as those IDAP trucks, but they've got 3 things of food in the back. The food will be stored back here, and this is 2 weeks of supplies. I've already cashed in one of the water trucks in 1 week of supplies, so the campaign can continue. But if I see that, like 1 week where I don't see any water trucks or any food trucks back here, the first op will be to get the supplies back, and you should hope not to fail that, because if you're not able to get any food or water by the time we finish the plan 3 ops, possibly 4 ops we have, then, well, the campaign's over, and that would be a shame. So, other things to note, if you were to look into these boxes, as I said, in the mission, it has a bunch of nice stuff in them. This is all the stuff that was saved over that either wasn't in the arsenal or wasn't going to be incorporated into the arsenal. So we've got 1 box over there. We also have this box I filled with whatever I found in it, all the way up to some nice stuff, which is N tier level, like the AK-12s, which are honestly some really good guns. If you want to keep anything that isn't within the arsenal or your standard loadout, which we have right here, you just need to throw them in these 2 boxes. And there will be missions to get more of these boxes so you can increase your storage space. Now, if you look, we've got 3 different arrangements of tables over here. One with the weapons, one with these armor pieces, and one with helmets, all the way going up to these nice little Viper pieces. Those represent the tiers of equipment that you can get by completing missions and then securing areas. Some of them might be the last mission of the night, where you just got to hold that position, fight off any resistance, or you might have to hit a convoy or something and then bring that Vic back to base, and then boom, your arsenal will be updated. Though, I'm going to be perfectly honest, I can't update a loadout of a character mid operation, so those will probably be like the final ops, like the big thing you do of that week before we end the server. So, let's get underway with the weapons. So first off, Tier 1, what we started with on Friday, simple AKs, 6.5 machine gun, RPG. If you actually notice, though, these guys do not have all of them. They actually have the TAR 20s and 21s, as well as some have that 7.62 AK. That's because the player base was able to actually get the FIA ammo cache, well, some of it, and thus were able to upgrade their weapons. Unfortunately, they didn't get all of it, though, to a friendly mine that detonated and killed all of them, as well as cooked off one of the caches. So right now, the player base is actually on Tier 2 for weapons, so they've got the TAR 20, 21, the UGL TAR, and they've got the LIM LMG, which honestly I prefer over the 6.5. But every weapon here will be available in the arsenal, and so if they want to go back to using AKs, even though in my opinion the TAR is superior, because even though it's a 5.56 compared to the 7.62, you can put scopes on it. And that's going to be very important to loot. Scopes themselves will be a miscellaneous op that you can do to, again, add them to the arsenal. But for the sake of the operations, I believe we have ACOs already unlocked as part of Tier 2. So Tier 3 is a really big benchmark tier, because you get put up to the AAF weapons using the MK20s. Again, decent guns, not the best, but you also get the frickin' Zephyr 7.62 LMG. That's a really nice one. You get S-stars for any naval operation you want to do, and you get that really shitty PCML that people like for some stupid reason. Tier 4 gives you NATO weapons. Naturally, that's going to give you, like all of these, that was FIA. This will probably be FIA too. This will probably be a NATO mission. And you also get the RPG, which might be its own op, might not, but that'll be an upgrade from the regular RPG. This one really packs a punch. So let's see. This is Tier 5 now. CSAT with the SPEMG, even though I think that's the NATO one. You also get the AA missile launcher by default in the arsenal and within these standardized loadouts. Tier 6 is pretty much the end game tier. You know, standard syndicate weaponry. You can put scopes on these puppies, 7.62. Really just murder things. You also get the Naveed 9.3, which, again, honestly, personal preference at that point if you like the SPMG or the freaking Naveed, but again, up to you. And you also get the Compat Titan, because that thing is OP as hell. And then there's the possibility of a 7th tier, which will be very, very difficult, but it unlocks the Type 115. And let's be perfectly honest, just bring 10 round Beowulf mags and blow everything to hell. But it also unlocks the Spar 17 marksman rifle that can honestly be used as a general rifle as well. But honestly, up to you. So those are the general weapon tiers. Now you may have noticed you don't see any sniper rifles and you don't see any marksman rifles in the general loadout. The whole point of those weapons is to be stored in these cargo boxes for you to use. Same as scopes, NVGs, what have you. Now over here, we have our equipment. So tier 1, we're going to include slash bandoliers in the arsenal for anyone to pick up and bring with them with their mod set. However, as missions progress, they were supposed to also have chest rigs unlocked, but as I said previously, they blew up half the ammo cache, and unfortunately the thing that had the chest rigs went up in smoke. After that, we've got tactical vests, tier-wise, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 is tactical vests, they're still stuck on tier 1. Tier 4, we get the GA carrier rigs. We'll start getting to some armor. Tier 5 gets you the regular carrier rig. Tier 6 is GA carrier rigs. And then Tier 7 is special carrier rigs. So basically, we're cycling through AAF and NATO gear, but in terms of chest rigs, these are some of the best that you can get. Helmets-wise, this is going to be fun. So, start off with nothing. Martial cap, that's in the arsenal. Don't really have any helmets. Then you get a light combat helmet. Kinda doesn't really stop anything. And then you get the IDAP basic helmet, which is nice to use. Then you get the special purpose stealth combat helmet. Then we move on to the protector helmet, enhanced combat helmet, defender helmet, and then eventually the Viper helmet, which I'm not sure you'll even be able to get in this campaign. It depends how long we go, and depends if, you know, we stack up high enough. But the thermals on that thing are going to turn everything into cancer, so that's why it's all the way at the end when we don't have to deal with it. So again, those are just the different tiers of weaponry and supplies and gear that you can unlock through missions that'll appear in the arsenal. Things that aren't shown right now are NVGs, possibly ENVGs as well in the future, and then also accessories for weapons, suppressors, scopes, laser pointers. All of those are potential ops in the campaign that I will be, you know, launching at my discretion based on where everybody is, and that can all be added to this virtual arsenal. So, small changes I also want to mention. The mine guys, I have replaced them to call them engineer and hackers. They don't by default spawn with mines anymore. That is because when we had our operations on Friday, someone, it was Andrewza, he put a mine down next to a Vic and then accidentally stepped on it, and he killed himself and about like 10 other, more like 15 other players around him, and that caused a big logistical mishap. And then the other thing that happened was when we put the cache up here, I'll show you specifically where we had that cache. We had it up here. Someone put a mine down right here, stepped on it on accident, and then blew up this cache with him. The other two were still okay, and that's why they didn't get the equipment. Other things to note, if the player base derelicts any vehicles, such as they did with this off-road, and it was perfectly okay, excuse me, I will leave that in the AO, and they can always grab it back later if they remember them. Small note to say, any Vics with broken wheels, because we're fixing that issue, I did just automatically bring them back to base as a mulligan, but I have fixed the engineer issue. Engineers can now repair Vics. So, other things to mention, honestly, I think I hit everything on the head. Just bring Vix back to base, focus on your objective, not the hostiles, and you'll get a few moments to loot the battlefield before enemy reinforcements really start coming in. But this is all about using common sense, guys. So let's say the first mission that was done with that IDAP camp, but it was being, guarded by NATO. Probably means NATO has a base here. So, if you wipe everything out, quickly, grab what's in the objective, grab your frickin' whatever needs to be done, have it go out, and then focus on looting. And, it's just, this campaign's all about testing common sense. I cannot stress that enough. On a final note, this is the fun part. If I deem it necessary, I can actually attack your main base. And the first mission of that night will be to move your main base from here to another position, or another position to a separate position. Now you might be thinking that's a little OP, but don't worry. The base protection will be turned off, so you'll actually be able to fire at base and do stuff. But you need to be careful here, because that's going to take a lot of coordination to A, move your VIX over, B, your arsenal, everything in storage is going to be put on VIX that you currently have. You're going to have to, the food will be loaded up, the water truck will be ready to go. Everything's going to have to leave in one form or the other. And these display things will be at your new base. But things that might cause that to happen is A, taking a chopper, repairing it, and then landing it right in the middle of your base, as we have, say, NATO units operating right here, and they see a freaking unregistered chopper land somewhere on the hill. They're probably going to check that out. Or B, maybe there's a drone up in the air that no one's spotted that's relatively low, and it's been able to follow a Vic coming back in towards the base. So, be mindful of that. Make sure you don't lead anyone directly back. Make sure, you take the safety routes, and if you capture a chopper or something, great. Put it somewhere else, and then if you need it, go grab it later. But bringing it back to your main base might not be the best idea. Anyway, guys, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to leave a message down in the description below, or, Jesus Christ, the comment section. I'm losing my mind, but, other than that, this campaign should last us a few months, and we'll be definitely doing a showcase of a lot of Laws of War stuff, especially involving, getting supplies. This helmet's part of Laws of War, so we'll have a custom op for that. And, as always, we got some of them ready to go, those vehicles, and we'll be, stealing more IDAP-related stuff and having more fun with them. On a final note, there is one more currency to talk about in this game, money, more or less. And what that'll do is that will allow you to, by the end of the op, I'll ask the commander what he wants to do with the money, and I'll give him a few options, such as buying new vehicles, buying something new for the arsenal, buying another few storage boxes, or some accessories, or, basically I'll just leave it up to him, and depending on what he wants, we'll either make that work, or I'll give him a limited amount or something. But, that'll just be something to, add a potential. Maybe you want to get an APC smuggled or something, and we'll be able to do that. But that's going to be purely up to the commander, but missions might revolve around stealing money, which is just a static texture I'll be attaching to stuff. But anyway, that's all. Again, any questions, comments, concerns, put it in the YouTube comment section. I'll get back to you. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy watching and or playing this campaign, and take care.